There are multiple ways we can retime in Hiero. First, let's see how we can create linear retimes. The first thing we will look at is the retime tool. With the retime tool selected, we can grab the head or tail of an item and expand or contract. The percentage of what speed the clip is now playing at will be listed on the track item. We can also nudge the retime. If we select an edit point, we can press the period or comma key to nudge frame by frame. We can hold Shift and press period or comma to nudge by increments. We can set the increment value in the viewer. If we hold Control, we can drag the edit and retime past the shot handles. Another way to create linear retimes is from the spreadsheet. We can double-click in the spreadsheet column and enter a new value. We can change how the retime method will act by pressing the cog and using the method dropdown. We have the option to keep the source duration or the timeline duration. Keeping the source duration means the shot length is altered on the timeline, and this depends on how much we retime. So for example, if we want to slow down a shot and retimed it to 50%, we are doubling each frame and the track length's item is doubled on the timeline. If we want to speed it up and retimed it to 200%, it will drop every other frame and the track item's length is halved in the timeline. If we change the method to keep timeline duration, the shot's length in the timeline will stay the same regardless of how much we speed up or slow down. So again, we'll slow down this shot to 50%. We are doubling the frames, but keeping the length of the track item the same. And if we speed the shot up to 200%, it will drop every other frame, and the length of the track item is the same. If there are no extra frames available from the source clip, then the remaining portion of the clip will be filled with black frames. We can also retime using the source, destination, and duration columns, and how each one of these columns will behave when we retime. Each column has their own setting on how we want the retime to behave, so we can modify that on the source or the destination. The calculation will depend on the time edit behavior setting. For example, if we use the retime method in the source menu and modify the source in column, it will retime the remaining frames to maintain the destination duration. Trimming it will do just that, and the track item will move and the duration is shortened. Slipping the source in will slip the source and maintain the destination duration. Each entry will have relevant options to modify the value we enter in the columns, depending on whether it's the source, destination, or duration. Nonlinear retimes are performed using the time warp effect. Using the curve editor, you can see that the curve is set for the clip. We can see it's linear as it spans across the clip, but we can alter it to nonlinear and make any curve adjustments. We can add and offset the keyframes in the curve editor, or we can use the dope sheet to make any keyframe timing adjustments without dealing with the tangents. We applied this at a track item level, and in this case the keyframes we created for the timing will be with the clip even if the clip moves in the sequence. We can also add the time warp at a source level. Let's right-click and open in Timeline view. Now let's add a time warp. This way the time warp will be placed directly on the source. When we view it in the sequence, it will have the time warp represented by the colored line on the inner top of the track item, and it's now attached to the clip at a source level.